7:25 back on the morning show. Why do some golfers get a hole-in-one and others whiff? Besides practice, there is science behind it. Wise guy Matt Sellen is live at Iron Horse Golf Course in Tuscola. Matt, give us some answers here.
Well, you know, I guess it is mostly practice, to be honest with you, but there is a lot of physics reasons too. And I'm here with Eric Arsenault, who's a super-duper golfer, and he's going to do something very cool now. He's going to take his great big, huge driver, and he's going to hit a ball as though he's teeing off, and we're going to watch that ball very carefully from behind, if we can. And what you're going to see is that the ball does not fly off up at a 45-degree angle. It flies off at a much lower angle with relative to the ground. Okay, and so that ball, wow, that was a great hit. And so the beauty of that is there's so much physics in what he just did. If you want to, if there was no air to get a ball to go really, really far, the farthest you would hit it off at 45 degrees. It's a well-known thing that all the students watching can figure out. But because there is air, you have lift and you have the effect of air and so on the ball, and that means you're going to have to hit the ball at a lower angle, and it works in the following way. What the ball does when he hits it is it imparts backspin on the ball, because the club faces at a slight angle, so the ball spins backwards. As the ball spins like this, as it moves through the air, some of the air is directed downward behind the ball, and that gives the ball some sort of lift, a little bit upward. And so that lift actually gets the ball to fly. If you hit it at a low angle, it kind of rises up and it flies rather far, and then it drops rather suddenly toward the end of its path. And I think you're nodding your head that I'm not making all this up. And the beauty of that is then that you can actually hit the ball rather far. Now the dimples on the ball are very, very important, because what the dimples do is they cause turbulence around the ball, and turbulence makes a slight layer of sort of slippery air that allows the other air to flow by more easily. And so what happens if you had a golf ball without dimples, which is the way when they first began, they used to make these things, the ball will only go about half the distance that a dimpled ball will go. And by the way, did somebody answer the question about the number of dimples?
Yes, they did. We have one guess is 336, I believe. Is that right?
I believe 336 is what they used to have, and they have more now.
Okay. And so does more dimples mean that you have more lift and it goes further?
I think what happens really is that they've discovered, you know, whether it's 336 or 384, which is what I believe they have now, it's a small difference. The difference between no dimples and some dimples is huge. And so that turbulent air layer that you have is the thing that's very, very important. And so now if I were to hit a ball, which I don't think I have time to do, what I could demonstrate for you is slicing and hooking. So maybe I do have time to do this. Okay, so since we have 1 minute, I'm told, I'm going to put the ball right here. And when I hit this thing, you're going to see that it doesn't go straight like when Eric hit it. It's probably going to go off in some screwball direction. You see how that ball went off to the left and is probably in some guy's backyard right now? Okay, so what happened was...
Lucky for you, it's foggy, Matt, and I can't really see where it went.
Okay, so as far as you know, it went straight as an arrow. That was a perfectly hit shot just then. No, what really happened was, if the club does not hit the ball perfectly straight, if it's on a slight angle as it comes in, the ball gets a little spin going one way or the other way, and that, in addition to giving it lift, it also gives it some impetus to go to the right or to the left, which is what happens every single time when I do this. So I want to thank Eric for coming out here, because he is a fantastic golfer, and he showed me how to do it exactly right. So thank you very much.
Thanks to both of you.
And we'll come back next week with some other interesting stuff.
Well, and so now we know it's the dimples and where you hit it, at least.
Well, it's mostly practice.
And practice. Practice makes perfect. I guess they said that for everything. Matt, thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. It's 7:28 now.